Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. It's For Real 99. So today we are still continuing. The series, A Journey Through the Bible. Man, it's been a great couple of books, I guess you can say, a couple of chapters. I feel like I have learned a lot, and hopefully y'all have grabbed something from the past book, first and second Peter, and then, you feel me, chapter 1 to 7 of John. And so today we are continuing the book of John, one of the Gospels, and we are on chapter 8 today, man. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in and watching this, and we shall continue this. John chapter 8. This is an interesting chapter. But let's get straight to it. John chapter 8. Verses 1. But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. Early in the morning, he came again to the temple. All the people came to him, and he sat down and taught them. The scribes and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery, and placing her in the midst, they said to him, "Teacher, this woman has been caught in the act of adultery. Now in the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. So what do you say?" This they said to test him, that they may have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger on the ground. And as they continued to ask him, he stood up and said to them, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." You feel me? If you are perfect, right? If you have not sinned, you can throw a stone at her. You feel me? But like the way that Jesus went at this is very interesting, because the Pharisees came in, right? First of all, the Pharisees were trying to trap Jesus. Ever since that time where Jesus flipped the tables, he went into the temple and he drove out all those people, you feel me? Back in a couple of chapters, right? He went and drove out those people who were turning his house of prayer into like a marketplace. Basically, at that point, man, the Pharisees have just wanted to take out Jesus, and they want to take him to the authorities, right? And they want something to say, because first of all, they can't find. They're trying to trap him. They're trying to corner him. They're trying to make him say something out of place to use against him, right? But the way that Jesus came at this, man, it's very interesting, because he's like, if you haven't sinned, right? If you are without fault, you throw a stone. And basically, man, that's probably the greatest response you can have, man, right there. Because again, Jesus was showing some compassion and the way that he was able to solve the problem here, right? And basically, we're going to read here, right? So verses 8. And once more he bent down and wrote on the ground. So he just went back to writing. He's like, if you have no sin, if let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone, right? And then he just goes down to writing. Basically, he's like, bang, 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 I'm going to go back to my business, right? And once more he went down and wrote on the ground. But when they heard it, they went away one by one, beginning with the older ones. And Jesus was left alone with the woman standing before him. Jesus stood up and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said, "Neither do I. You go from now on, sin no more." So Jesus showed compassion to this woman, man. And we all make mistakes. You feel me? We all make mistakes, and we all deserve some form of punishment, right? But just the grace of Jesus had for this woman is it's so like heartwarming, right? Just the way that he was able to right? He was able to show compassion. He was able to forgive the woman, right? He's like, "Neither do I," right? "I forgive you," right? But go and don't sin anymore, right? Go and be different. Go and change, right? That's the big thing, right? Once Jesus Once Jesus gives us that, once we know that we have that grace from God, that he does forgive us when we fall and we stumble. But the big thing is that we got to use that. We got to use that freedom to change, to be different, right? We got to use that freedom to be the best people we can be, right? With God's power. So Jesus like, go, don't sin no more, right? Be different, right? So verses 12. Again, Jesus spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So the Pharisee said to him, you are bearing witness about yourself. Your testimony is not true. Jesus answered, even if I do bear witness about myself, my testimony is true. For I know where I came from and where I am going. But you do not know where I came from, where I come from, or where I'm going. You judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. Yet even if I do judge, my judgment is true. For it is not I alone who judge, but I and the Father who sent me. In your law it is written that testimony of two people is true. I am the one who bears witness about myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness about me. They said to him, therefore, where is your Father? Jesus answered, you know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father also. These words he spoke in the treasury as he taught in the temple, but no one arrested him because his hour had not yet come. So there's a set time where God is going to allow the Pharisees, and he's going to allow those people who hate him to attack and arrest him, right? But his hour is not yet, man. Jesus still needs to do some other business, and he still needs to fulfill some prophecies and fulfill his ministry, right? Verses 21. So he said to them again, I am going away. You will seek me, and you will die in your sin. Where I am going, you cannot come. So the Jews said, will he kill himself, since he says, where I am going, you cannot come? He said to them, you are from below, I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world. I told you that you would die in your sins, for unless you believe that I am he, you will die in your sins. So they said to him, who are you? Jesus said to them, just what I have been telling you from the beginning. I have much to say about you and much to judge. But he who sent me is true, and I declare to the world what I have heard from him. They did not understand that he had been speaking to them about the Father. So Jesus said to them, when you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am he, and that I do nothing on my own authority, but speak just as the Father taught me. And he who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, for I always do the things that are pleasing to him. And he was saying these things. As he was saying these things, many believed in him, right? There are still people being saved. There are still people being marveled at how the way Jesus is teaching, right? He's teaching in just like authoritative, right? Just the power and the impact that Jesus is having is miraculous. And verses 31. So Jesus said to the Jews who had believed in him, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. They answered him, we are offsprings of Abraham and have never been enslaved to anyone. How is it that you say you will become free? Jesus answered them, truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin. Everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin, man. That's a powerful statement, I ain't gonna lie. The slave does not remain in the house forever. The son remains forever. So if the son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I know that you are offsprings of Abraham, yet you seek to kill me, because my words find no place in you. I speak of what I have seen with my father, and you do what you have heard from your father. They answered him, Abraham is our father. Jesus said to them, if you were Abraham's children, you would be doing the works of Abraham did. But now you seek to kill me, a man who has told you the truth that I have heard from God. This is not what Abraham did. You are doing the works your father did. They said to him, we were not born of sexual immorality. We have one Father, even God. Jesus said to them, if God were your Father, you would love me, for I came from God, and I am here. Oh my, something bad's about to happen, I feel like, right? Every time Jesus speaks, man, it's like the Pharisees are just questioning. You feel me? The Pharisees, their hearts are just keep getting hardened. They're just like flaming up because they're like, we can't get rid of this dude, right? Where were we? I came from God and I am here. I came not of my own accord, but he has sent me. Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot bear to hear my word, right? You can't hear these truths, right? You are of your father, the devil, and your will is to do your father's desire. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. But because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. Which one of you convicts me of sin? If I tell you the truth, why do you not believe me? Whoever is of God hears the word of God. The reason why you do not hear them is that you are not of God. Holy crap. So Jesus is going at the Pharisees, man. He is going at the Pharisees. Basically, he's just going straight to the point, man. I am from the Father, right? The Father and I are one, right? He sent me to proclaim justice and freedom, right? And hope to the hopeless, right? And basically the Pharisees are like, they do not like what Jesus is saying because he is getting into their bubble. Right? People are following him. Large crowds are listening to him, right? He's so popular right now. And the Pharisees do not like it because their hearts are hardened, right? And basically Jesus pointing them out that their father is not God, it's the devil. And I believe it or not, it's gonna come here that the Pharisees are they're gonna have enough of this. They're like, we are done with him. Let's do something, man. Let's just accuse him of something, right? So Jesus he keeps just going at it, and the Pharisees are not liking anything that Jesus is saying here. Verses 48. The Jews answered him, are we not right in saying that you are a Samaritan and have a demon? Again, I told y'all, man, that they're about to say something crazy about Jesus, right? Jesus answered, I do not have a demon, but I honor my Father and you dishonor me. Yet I do not seek my own glory. There is one who seeks it, and he is the judge. Truly, truly, I say to you, if anyone keeps my word, he will never see death. I like that verse, man. I really like that verse. John chapter 8, verses 50. John chapter 8, verses 51. Truly, truly, I say to you, if anyone keeps my word, he will never see death. The Jews answered and said to him, now we know that you have a demon. Abraham died, as did the prophets. Yet you say, if anyone keeps my word, he will never taste death. Are you greater than our father Abraham, who died, and the prophets who died? Who do you make yourself out to be? Jesus answered, if I glorify myself, my glory is nothing. It is my Father who glorifies me, of whom you say he is our God. But you have not known him. I know him. If I were to say that I do not know him, I would be a liar like you. But I do know him, and I keep his word. Your father Abraham rejoiced that he would see my day. He saw it and was glad. So the Jews said to him, you are not yet 50 years old. Have you seen Abraham? Jesus said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am. One of the greatest statements Jesus probably has said so far here, right? So they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple. So that probably just knocked that just knocked that knocks something, man. And they're like, we have had enough of this dude, right? So Jesus is like, the greatest statement, right? Before Abraham was, I am, man. And that just ticked them off. They're like, we have had enough, right? He's speaking blasphemy, right? Because he's making himself equal to God, and nobody's equal to God, first of all. So they started stoning him. They were picking up stones to throw at Jesus, but thankfully Jesus was able to escape, right? So man, Jesus just went at them, and then there's just I told y'all, man, there's a point where the Pharisees are just gonna break. They're gonna be like, or the Jews or whoever is in this group, right? But they're gonna break, and they're gonna say like, we've had enough of this dude speaking. But man, so that is John chapter 8, man. Hopefully y'all were able to pick something from this. I know I did. There's plenty of things to grab onto here. The way that Jesus was able to forgive that woman, the way that Jesus was able to speak some truth, right? There's some harsh truth, man, harsh truth that Jesus was able to preach to the people, right? And there's some that received it, there's some that believed, and there are others that hardened their hearts and they rejected, right? But the big thing is like the truth is what sets you free, right? Jesus said that if you believe in the truth, right, the truth will set you free. Really, the truth, man, it's really, what are you striving for, right? What are you believing? What are you basing your life off of, right? If it's not the truth, man, you're building your house, you feel me, in the sand, right? You're building your house in the sand, and when the storm comes, that house is gonna stop. It's gonna tumble. It's gonna get destroyed. So it's really, what are you going to adopt? What are you going to try and strive for? What are you going to build your foundation in, right? Is it the truth, or is it your desire, your wants, or is it something that is bigger, right? It's like building. So yeah, it's just, and there are those that are they're going to try and destroy the truth. Just like up here, the Jews, right? Jesus was able to preach, and even though they didn't like it, Jesus kept preaching. And then there's a point where they had enough, and they wanted to take Jesus out. So yeah, man, that is John chapter 8. And thank you guys for watching this. I hope y'all can like this, and y'all can subscribe, and y'all can share this, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Yeah, peace.